Hey guys, it's Grimace Fan 101 here. So, as some of you may know, Mcdonaldland is an advertising campaign that McDonald's has used for over a decade, basically, which a decade is 10 years. So more than 10 years. But there's a lot of characters, as you can see from this picture, that I've used for marketing, so I am going to go over some of the major ones here. This is part 1. Alright, so I hope you enjoy this video. Sit back, relax, and here we go. So first off, let me just start with one of the most well-known, Ronald McDonald. Now Ronald, as you know, is a hamburger clown. Yeah, with a yellow jumpsuit. But he didn't always look like this. Now, if you don't like scary images, close your eyes. But here's what he originally looked like, okay? Brace yourself. Yeah, that's a lot different from nowadays. He first appeared like this in 1963 and was changed in 1964 to a more friendlier look. But still, he didn't really become that friendly looking, basically in 1971, when other characters were introduced, Ronald was finally found the best design for him. And speaking of other characters, let's move on to the Hamburglar, another well-known, one of the most memorable Mcdonaldland characters. Now, Hamburglar, of course, is a burglar. He steals McDonald's hamburgers and cheeseburgers, with either someone having to stop him, like Ronald or Officer Big Mac, which I'll get to him in a little bit. So a pirate also had to translate for him a lot, called Captain Crook, as you can see from this video clip right here.
And wiggle out of this one. He says we just pretended it was sold out. Oh, so you can have all the hamburgers and filet of fish sandwiches for yourself, huh? He says, right. What'd you say then? He said he's sorry, and so am I.
Yeah, so essentially, so Hamburglar, he's kind of got a crazy story behind him. Once he was even known as the Lone Jogger, and in his first appearance he had a skull-like head. He was very creepy. I mean, yeah. If you thought the original Ronald was creepy, just see the original Hamburglar. I'm not going to show you though. But basically, he later even took a friendlier appearance than this. But this is my favorite look of him. So, I think that's all I have to talk about him. And I think I said this, he's known as the Lone Jogger at one point. So next, I'll move on to the third and my personal favorite character, Grimace. Grimace is a big purple blob type character. He first appeared in 1971 as a villain like Captain Crook and Hamburglar. He had 4 arms, but he was only used for a few commercials. In 1972, 1973, he was quickly converted to the friendly Grimace we all know today. Now, so yeah, and also another thing you may not know about him, that's little known about him, is that he says that he's thirsty a lot. Okay, not a lot, but once in a while. That's a catchphrase. Listen to this. Not just as, well, the 4-armed version of Grimace is called the Evil Grimace. But here he is in his nicer version saying he's thirsty, or toisty. Oh, that always cracked me up. Anyway, so there we have it. Grimace. By the way, some people say they wonder what he is. Some people think he's a milkshake. Others think he is a taste bud of all things. I just think he's a big purple blob. After all, I think his name Grimace is what he is because there's a place called Grimace Island where all his relatives live. In the Wacky Adventures of Ronald Mcdonald episode, Legend of Grimace Island. But anyway, moving on. Mayor Mccheese, a big cheeseburger head guy. Sorry, my screen keeps moving. But yeah, he had a cheeseburger for a head. He first appeared in 1971 with a bigger head before being converted in the 1973 specification manual, which you can look up more about. Basically, but however, there was a show back then called HR Puffin Stuff. Some of you may not know about that, but it was big in the 70s, 1970s-ish. Basically, sorry. So Mcdonaldland, in general, was based off of that show. Or that's what they claim, anyway. And Mayor Mccheese looked a lot like the main character, HR Puffin Stuff. I've never seen a full episode of HR Puffin Stuff, but I can see some similarities to it in Mcdonaldland. So basically, also, Mayor Mccheese is also known to say, well, you know, a lot. See, this is the big one commercial where he says it.
All upset.
Good grief! There are millions and millions of goblins in the French fries hatch, you know.
He shouted.
They'll eat up every delicious bag of French fries in Mcdonaldland. What'll we do?
Nothing.
Here's another part of it.
No, I mean, it's horrendous, you know.
Mayor.
That's too good. You're weird, Mayor. Anyway, there is Mayor Mccheese, another well-known character. So, moving on is Captain Crook, the Crooked Pirate. As you know, so they're called, they all have nicknames, like Officer Big Mac, which I'll get to in a minute, is just Big Mac. He is the Crooked Pirate, Captain Crook, which he's later known as the Captain. But, and the Hamburglar is also known as the crafty old Hamburglar, but anyway, Captain Crook was just a pirate, basically, based off of Disney's Captain Hook. He appeared for a while, up until like 1999. This is the most memorable version, but then again, he did, later was converted into a friendlier, like most characters, Muppet-like version. That's a bad picture, but you get the idea. So, yeah, he originally had green hair and was used a lot for McDonald's old playgrounds. See, there's an old one with green hair. So yeah, there's Captain Crook, and as I said, he often translates for the Hamburglars gibberish language, which honestly is pretty mixed up. He says wah 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 and robble 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 robble. I don't know. Yeah. So, the last character I want to show you is, I've been talking about him this whole video. He's Grimace. I think I said this. Grimace is my favorite character, but he's my second favorite. Officer Big Mac. He is a police officer with a Big Mac head instead of a cheeseburger head like Mayor Mccheese, who he has a striking resemblance to. So, McDonald's, as you know, was based off of HR Puffin Stuff. Like I said, from Mayor Mccheese. Even though he looked similar to Mayor Mccheese, see, McDonald's owned a lawsuit to them, which basically means they had to pay a lot of money, like $1 million, because of their characters being based off of HR Puffin Stuffs. So, but he, even though he looks like Mayor Mccheese, made it through the lawsuit, along with Ronald, Grimace, and the Hamburglar. The rest of the characters were banned. Sorry about my mouse running on her wheel back there. But we're still well, not banned, but they weren't supposed to be used, but they were still, some of them were still used up until the early 2000s. Now, Officer Big Mac, this is what his voice sounds like.
I hope so.
Wait, Mayor, what are you
I
doing?
hope so.
You hope so.
We'll make it to McDonald's in time.
There we go. That's his voice. Anyway, so Mcdonaldland. There you have it. That's part 1 of Mcdonaldland characters. Part 2 will be coming up soon to cover a few more characters. Because as you may know, there's more. So I will see you all later. This is Grimace Fan 101. Saying bye, and yeah, like, subscribe if YouTube will let you with all the changes going on. So see ya, bye, thanks for watching, and bye.